Yeah, I was curious that's why I'm doing it. It's a curiosity thing. I'm throwing all kinds of new stuff at them. They're picking it up remarkably well. Like when you watch the practice on Tuesday,
Yeah.
we did 2 or 3 new things. Group thing with the defenseman, and then the regroup with the 2-on-1, and they'd never done those before. Yeah, and they catch on. They're catching on, pretty darn good, and those are pretty. They're really good drills, but I, I wondered if they could do them, and they can.
They did them very well. The tactical skills were there.
What the heck?
The hockey sense was there. The thinking, the timing, the effort, the pace, everything was just above average. It wasn't just normally a practice you see struggling, missed plays, the drill isn't flowing, it isn't running, it isn't operating. The intention is there, but it's sort of out of whack. But that practice was really, really well performed. And actually, the last
switched to the Russian scrimmage with the same where I blow the whistle a certain amount of times, because the last thing we didn't have time to go through both teams on the power play game.
Yeah.
So they love that Russian scrimmage, and what really benefited is when I do it 3, I make sure I'm doing 3-on-3 quite a few times.
Yeah.
Because we won the overtime because we covered them man on man on the 3-on-3, and they left the one player wide open and walked in and scored.
Yeah.
So that helps for that too. Just tell them it's defense.
Tom, I watched that game. Can you explain it for Hal and Jordan and Peter? Because it is every variation of numbers where you have a man advantage or even number.
Yeah, that's the part.
It's
the 2 games are the Russian scrimmages. I blow the whistle a certain amount of times from 1 to 5, and that many players play. And then the power play game, we have gold and black jerseys. So you start off with, you can start off at 1-on-1. I don't usually do that. I usually start off at 2-on-1, and then they play. And then when I blow the whistle, 2-on-2, I blow the whistle. It's 3-on-2. One team gets the power, the 6-on-5, and then the other team, and we keep score, and then the other team gets it. And you go through all the situations. But you can start with 1-on-1, and then 2-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-2, 3-on-3. I picked it up from Brent DeVoe. I thought he ran the best offensive practices I've ever seen. I coached with him at SAIT, the SAIT men's team.
Yeah.
2018-19, he asked me to come and help him, and he's best friends with Bill Peters. They were line mates at college.
Yeah.
And Babcock was their coach. So he calls Babcock all the time too. So he had a lot of really good stuff, I thought. Mike Kennedy for that team too. A lot of good stuff from him too.
Like when you did that Russian scrimmage, one color is going to have the man advantage when you blow the whistle.
That's a power play game.
Russian power play scrimmage.
Yeah.
And talk about random power play. I thought that wide open freelance play, no positions kind of thing.
Yeah.
They were just going. And years ago in the conditioning camps we ran, Tom, we used to scrimmage different numbers, but they would go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One door, come off the other.
Yeah.
So the scrimmages were all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they had structure, they forechecked, they had up 2-on-1s. And that's why teams players are so fixated on I gotta play right wing, I gotta play left wing, and the game isn't that. And sitting with 2 parents.
We played both those games with just total hockey. you just read how many players are in front of you.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's how we try to do it, that they read the game and play it. They just come flying off the bench, boy. They love those 2 games.
Oh, they get into it.
Tom, I love that Russian scrimmage. I used to do that all the time. Did you ever do it? You know how you always have those kids on each bench are like a little bit super competitive, like in a good way, in a fun way, and they're begging you for a one-on-one. Did you ever do that with a one-on-one?
They haven't
We've done
begged me
that in the
for a-
past, and it's a lot of fun watching the benches just like cheer on for those kids.
Yeah, we've done a few one-on-ones. I'll usually do that if we have like a 90-minute one. So, you know, so I have a little more time.
Yeah, yeah, but that's always fun to see, and they really, it's so much fun watching the kids just all of a sudden become children and players, because they all of a sudden they're cheering for each other and they can't wait to see, right, how many whistles you're going to blow, and they just love popping out there. It's awesome. That's great, Drill.
Well, that's one of the, yeah, it's one of the best ones I've come across, and I've just, you know, like I said, I picked it up at college about 4 or 5 years ago, and I'd never done that before. It's really good.
Did you send that when you sent me those that list of drills the other day? If not, can you send that to me again? I just sent you guys 3 articles, including cold dry hands, by email. There's another one I really like. Is, you know, hockey's an easy game to play from the stands.
You know when I really realized that? When I was eye in the sky in Salzburg.
Yeah.
There, and you see, oh, they should have done this, should have done this. And you're watching it, and then I would go down between periods and talk to Paget and Ruotsalainen and tell them what I saw. But I realized that because it's Gene Riley, this American guy, would say that to me. Pretty easy from up here. But now, because I still play, I see my players or any players screwing up, and I say, damn it, I did that yesterday.
Oh. Well, I'll watch a Wild game and I'll watch them make mistakes, and I go, oh, yeah, our team does exactly the same thing.
Well, they're all the same mistakes.
Yeah.
Like I bet you 90% of the blind backhand passes go to the other team.
Yeah.
Kadri did a terrible one 2 weeks ago. He's up by the blue line, and Calgary's on a power play, and he does a blind backhand pass, and it was 0-0, and they got a total breakaway and scored.
1-0. Yeah.
Who made that pass?
Kadri.
Huh.
He did a blind behind the back pass right to I think it was St. Louis. The guy was gone.
You know, I have to mention the competition, internal, 3 teams in the same league under the umbrella of Girls Hockey Calgary. And the tension during the games by the parents and their feeling state, when they lose, the dejection and the emotional drain. And I'm sitting there, you know what? Every one of our teams is doing better than the Edmonton Oilers and the Edmonton and the Calgary Flames. I mean, even at the pro level, think about it.
Well, I think it is too, because hell, they added a team. So my team's a new team. And of course, the 2 other teams wanted to be able to protect some players. I said, well, no, you can't do that. You protect 3, so that means the 6 best players are gone right at the hop, eh? So it was an open draft. So all my second-year players played for one of those other teams the year before, so they know everybody. Everybody knows everybody, right? So we played this the red team, and they won the provincials last year. And we beat them in overtime, and we were lucky to beat them. And oh yeah, the emotions after. But like Wally kept track of the passes. We made 80 something, and they made 10. And our first 3 goals were at the end of 3 passes. And how they got all their chances is our F3 wasn't back and we're pinching. So they chip it by the D and then get outnumbered situations, right? And so they made one nice pass on that, but they were just in races 1-on-5 all the time. So it was a totally different way to play the game.
See,
So-
this league, any team can win, and there are better teams in Alberta. And when Girls Hockey Calgary went to 3 teams apparently at the demand of Hockey Alberta, it upsetting to parents because they think that's watering the level down. And watering the level down, it's so relative. Like the numbers are growing, the hockey's getting better. I had to debate the argument with parents who felt, well, there were players on the team that weren't good enough. Like, so parents are saying that, thinking others aren't good enough. Well, holy cow, you're a team. Everybody's good enough. Just treat them that way and motivate them. And I think it's going to be a great year, a great league, very competitive. Just keeping everybody happy and realizing, just be thankful you get to play this game. And like Johnson said, Bob Johnson, every day is a great day for hockey, you know?
Well, a challenge is because they went to another team. Your bottom third of the team wouldn't have made it before.
Yeah.
So the challenge is you get those players that they can all compete at this level.
Yeah.
And, and I think that the ones that do the best job of that will be the ones that do the best.
Yeah. The one that do the best job at what, Tom?
Well, developing everybody. So, like we picked players that competed hard and could skate. We got some that the puck is not their friend. And, so we got to get so they can handle a puck and make plays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, and every team's got that challenge. So whoever can every player on their team, they can put them out and they can get the job done is going to do the best. That's my kind of it. That's why I think you have to play everybody.
Oh, you do.
Well, boys, I have to go in a second, but Tom, you would be smiling because I have one of my sort of our 4th coach who not on the bench, his son's on the team, and he's keeping track of completed passes during the game. He's using the board just like you guys do, is it?
Yeah.
And we got up to 85 passes. We had to play the best team in our division. They have like 1,300 kids in their program. We have like 300. And we were 2-2 with a minute left in the game. And then we didn't play well the last minute and ended up losing the game 3-2, which was a great learning experience for the kids. It was unbelievable. And we had like 85 passes in that game. And it's like, that is, so the kids are getting better.
Yeah.
And now
That's what we did our last game.
We're going to get after them in practice now, because a lot of the drills that we're running, if they're regroups or if they're breakouts and heading up ice, they aren't passing as much as they should. So there's going to be consequences for no passing. If skating by a teammate, so to speak. But we're finally getting some ice time where we can actually do some of this stuff, and it's really fun. I'm really having a good time with these kids. So
yeah, it's a great stat.
Yeah.
Wally did our last game, and he did both teams.
Yeah.
And that's what we do much better than the other team.
Yeah.
But Hal, the interesting thing in that game, the other team could have won. Like they had quality scoring chances.
Yep.
And so the passing stat literally meant nothing if they lose. And you're wondering, how do people regard that, and I just say, if you're passing, you have possession, you're using each other,
Yep.
it's got to be a distinct advantage.
Well, I mean, both teams in this game had scoring chances that they didn't convert. Both teams had breakaways that they didn't convert. I think we had one that we did, but as my license plate on my car, which is now in storage, is 3-2 OT, and because that's the perfect score of a game, or even in regulation, because you got good goaltending, you got lots of offense, and if you shorten your bench, you're stupid because you're going to run out of energy, and everybody's involved, and I use this thing with them that I think one of you told me: we win, we tie, or we learn. And the kids are onto that now. They get that. So what did we learn tonight? What did we learn? And we can't take timeouts. And so, if I had been able to take a timeout, I would have, to settle the kids down, and just because they thought they were still trying to win the game. And I was thinking, well, I'd be happy to tie the game because we get a point out of it. And, there's only 60 seconds left, right? And they're the best team in the league. And then we have a thing called fair play points. I don't know if you guys have that up there. So if your penalty minutes are below the threshold, you actually get a point in the game. So if you do that and win, it's a 3-point win. But we went from a 2-point game to 1-point game because we got fair play and we didn't get any points for, because we lost the game on that last minute. So got to run, boys. Hi, Jordan. How are you? We'll see you guys next week for sure. I'll be there for the whole show next week. So have a good weekend, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Hal.
Yep. We'll see you guys.
Tom, I was going to add something to you. Well, Hal could have heard it too, but something that we did here recently, that it was just one of those ideas that kind of came to me, and it worked well in our tournament this past weekend. You're an old gym teacher, so the flip scoreboards that you used in when you'd have two games going on or whatever, the ones that you just flip the numbers on them.
Yeah.
I took one of those with us to Regina and had it on the bench, and the forwards had to flip one end and the D had to flip the other when they came off.
Yeah.
And the goal was to try and get that